All right, here we go again. Buckle up. Who knows what's ahead? God, that's who. No, I wasn't like sick enough. I was worried. I'm like, am I harming myself? My brother said, why? I said, because I'm like not sick and I can't sit still. I'm in this apartment, with cabin fever. I said, am I supposed to be like sick in bed or something? And he's like, well, the end of the whole thing is just, your energy comes back and you have some lingering stuff, but you're generally well. Right. Oh, wait a minute. Something happened here with my moon shadow showed up. So I really didn't want to buy the iPhone and the iPad, but the Lord said I had to, and I'm not sure, the ins and outs of it. Again, the Lord said I had to. And maybe it's because they hacked my ability to buy the Paxlovid, or to at least get it shipped. And at that point, they can hack anything. So again, me having the COVID did cause them to increase the hacking, increase the harassment. So there's a couple things national security wise we have to look at on that. I don't care if it's a CIA officer. I don't care if it's an FBI agent. I don't care if it's the fusion center of Kansas. I don't care if it's somebody in the middle of Russia. I don't care. Okay, you're all allowing it and causing it. It's over. There's nobody left in government that's normal. That's what I have come to the conclusion. They're just a bunch of weirdos. Okay. Like they talk about the Yogi Bhajan cult being a sex cult. Government, same thing. That's what happened when I go to the Yogi Bhajan cult. Everybody says that I'm the sex fiend, and they all run around having sex with the government people. That's what's actually going on in these places. That's why they get the government contracts. They're all having sex together. Meanwhile, they're torturing my body so I'll never, be well through my older years. They knew they were doing that. It wasn't an accident. So at this point, nobody in the world could have thought that all those multi-million-dollar homes could go so fast, could they? Something I've been warning you about for decades. And of course, your little spy bitch that attacks everybody and kills their mother and their families is going to tell you it's because of me, not because of what she's doing and what her friends are doing. So again, enough of the reversal. Y'all need to wake up. Again, you're all going to hell. Hell doesn't exist outside of what you're all doing. Again, most sinners are not going to hell. They're victims of all of you, including members of the church, members of the mosque, members of the Sikhism, Hare Krishnaism, ism, and religionism. Okay, you're all a mess. You're all devils. And your leader is going to fly you all to Mars, and you're going to live happy ever after, right? Right. King Elon and Queen Melanie, right? That's what's forming in your minds, right? You need to get that nonsense out of your mind. God's reacting to what you did to me and what you're doing to the other people. They're hacking them so they can't get anywhere in life. They're blocking them from health care. Blocking them from. I should have had this arc built in within a couple months of moving in on it. So what they're trying to do is to form the same thing that they formed in Santa Fe and in Tyler, where I eventually give everything away and throw everything away. But yet I'm spending all that money on it. I never realized the value of my money. So again, this is spycraft, this is psychological warfare that they're engaged in. It's an unlawful method. It is a lethal method. It has killed many people, to include Jonathan Luna, Jonathan Nichols, caused Bob Levison to disappear. So when you see these people, you're not seeing the greatest investigator in the world. You're seeing the biggest piece of shit devil that has ever stepped foot on this planet. But guess what? As I told you before any of this started, the planet's booby trapped. You can't win. By the time you get somewhere to steal it, it'll be on its way to be destroyed, and that's where it is right now. I mean, to begin with, I mean, when we look at the world, who lives on the side of a mountain with mudslides? I mean, these are the same people that are complaining about the fires had mudslides, earthquakes, all this craziness, right? Floods. You know, what's her name? Ellen. Ellen DeGeneres is like, I got out of there. Right. It's a death trap. Percent there. I agree. So like next year, you'll hear about the mudslides and how we have to send money for the mudslides to multimillionaires and finance the rebuilding of their world. That's why I told you the people that don't have anything, they're not costing you money to give them a little subsidy. You're all subsidizing your multi-million dollar homes and lifestyles. Right. They'll be, asking the government for money for the next, 5 years for each person. I can sense her, and she needs to stop it. And there are men in there, and I can see them. And the fusion centers are part of it. The fusion centers are part of a network of murder, a premeditated spycraft murder. Now, do they do some real work? You know what? At this point, I don't know. I don't see many cases coming out of anything. I just see a bunch of people being killed. Everybody laughing because they're going to get their $1 million retirement job. Where all of a sudden the stock market went up because Putin paid him for taking the victim out. Not a joke. I'm not crazy. That's really what's happening. So, they're trying to create criminals out of thin air to hide the real criminals. I have to shut down my Android life. That's going to be difficult. Now I got all these subscriptions and stuff. I have to close them down. open them up on iOS. But that was pretty much it. I so sorely didn't want to spend any money on anything, and the Lord finally said, "You got to make the move." They shut down your Paxlovid, but Lord handled that, and took out a couple communities in California. Who knows what's next? I mean, this is really what the Bible's about. Okay. Everybody knows I was a married man looking to marry a woman and just settle down and go to some religious society and live out the remainder of my years. But instead, you chased me around for 20 years, torturing me. I mean, give me my money, let me walk off into life and get some structure for the end of my life, or, I'm sure God will continue. I mean, it's just it. I told you, the older I get, the worse it gets for all of you. There's people in Pacific Palisades knew they'd do me and do people like me. Keep the focus off the real criminals. Well, they watch the person so they can't have a family, a life. Yeah, it's been on wiretaps. My brother speaks about what's happening. My mother spoke. I mean, in veiled language, but they all speak about it. Right. They're harassed to not help me. Take my name and my address off of that system that you're using to attack people and make them homeless. Homelessness isn't just happening. Narcotics addiction isn't just happening. They're programming people in to an artificial intelligence system. Artificial intelligence has probably been around for 20 years at one level or another. It's just like the same idea that, oh, direct energy is going to start to be investigated during the early years of the Persian Gulf Wars, after 9/11. There's patents, including government, going back to like the 60s. I mean, they're sick, man. They're just devils. Again, they'll tell you the greatest Christian on earth. Look at his life compared to that person's life. But what did they do? They blocked the other person from the real life. No, I'm not crazy. There's just only so many things that your mind can outfox that they're doing. Right. I mean, each one of your communities made a deal with the devil. They said, "Yeah, let's torture this guy." There's no change coming. There's no future. You go, "Oh, no, this is it. This is it. We're never going to do it again." That was like that woke us up. They stopped Paxlovid. I mean, there's cops that murder people outright, and they walk off laughing because they're part of that thing, and they'll never get investigated. They walk around you all day telling you how they're keeping the law and how that person's a lawbreaker. And like Trump needs to figure it out. It don't matter what you do. God will get you. Okay, Trump thinks there's some strategy that would have stopped that fire. Nah, it wouldn't. Mitigate a little bit. Nah, it would have destroyed probably everything. Well, what do you think? Who do you think lives in those places? The spies and their bosses. That's who lives in those places. Oh, boo hoo, boo hoo. October, Jan 6th, October 7th, Pacific Palisades. Bunch of nutbags. You're a bunch of nutbags, all of you. Create the misery and then look at everybody else as if they got to worship you for because you're going to fix the misery. That's next what we're going to hear. All these exciting stories of recovery and success and people that didn't perish and human story here, human story there. Meanwhile, God's sitting back. They don't get it, do they? They don't get it, do they? They don't get it, do they? Right here in Kansas, covens of witches and devils went around with millions of dollars, called themselves churches. And every other religion, every other non-religion society. But we can make everybody else look worse, so therefore we are better, correct? Somebody's got to tell you something, all of you. Y'all running around like this is the most wondrous years of our lives because people are going to survive the Palisades fire and they're going to rebuild. And, there was a humanistic story over here we're going to hear about. I mean, like Elon on this side going, DI, DI, DI. I mean, it's insane. You're a bunch of lunatics, all of you. In fact, most people in the first Trump administration used my stuff that I spoke about for 10 years, or approximately 10 years, probably about 8 years. They're not geniuses. They're ignorant pieces of shit. Most of them. I mean, I'm not here to worship idiots. I mean, I'll help you, but I'm not here to play that game. Like somehow I didn't come up with all of the things that they use, such as truth and all that. Sure. But y'all think it's funny, right? I think it is because I probably God saved me from using Paxlovid when I probably wouldn't have benefited me. Because I wasn't even sure at that point, but the idea of it all, right? That they're going to use some high tech computer system to block. And the credit card, I actually used another system, and the credit card went in. It actually got past what they were doing because it was a telephonic system, and the system said it confirmed that send a confirmation that your card is in there. It's going to pop, and the lady said it will populate now, and it was gone the next day. No card. I've had them do it before. I tell you, they reversed my address to like a 5-year-old address, and say, "Oh, you just didn't update it," but trying to make you think that you're crazy. So 4 years ago, I could have got forward of what was going on and figured out my injury at a much younger age. But I couldn't because I had all these people chasing me around while I'm in pain, while I'm cramped up all over my body. Because that's the game. To force me to stay cramped up. To force me to stay sick. So it can't ever be healed. Well, a lot of stuff can't be healed in Pacific Palisades right now. A lot of stuff can't be healed over in the Ukraine. A lot of stuff can't be healed over there in Russia. What next? What are you all looking for? Another $1 million payment from Satan? Lucky 7? Maybe the markets will crash next, and there won't be any more $1 million payments. It happened in an instant, less than a second. Think it's funny, right, all of you? You know what you're doing, all of you. You remove your people from those type of harassment operations, which includes projection, or the planet will be destroyed over and over and over again endlessly. What's wrong? Nothing. This is in the Bible. You're a Christian state. Oklahoma's a Christian state. Oklahoma, Kansas, Christian states, right? This is what Christians do, right? It's in the Bible. Prophet. This is what a prophet does. Oh, but it's not okay now, right? Because it doesn't play your game, your fusion center game. You know what they do at the fusion center? They keep people unmarried. They try to turn people gay. They're using psychological operations. That's who works your fusion centers. That's why they're calling cops to watch people. So they can keep them gay or make them gay or refuse for them to be heterosexually married and joined to a woman. That's what your church does. That's what your brother and sister in the church do in the fusion center and for the fusion centers. That's the reality of this country. That's the reality of this city, Overland Park. Correct. You don't have a right to be married anymore. That's why you're not married. That's what the cop down the street thinks. Well, he's married. He's got 4 mistresses and 5 Broncos and 7 pools and on the payroll of 15 narcotics distributors and sex traffickers. Dude. That's why you have Pacific Palisades. Everybody's like, well, that's liberal place. Yeah, they weren't all liberal. Right. There's a bunch of rich people. Told you to reduce the friction. I think y'all need to pay me, and that's it. Come up with a figure, pay me so I can get out of the mess you put me in. And I'll move on and I'll go find my life. They think it's funny, man. And they're just sickos. No, Larry wasn't somebody that started the fight with anybody. Very quiet many years. That was the big mistake. Look, they're trying to get me to break what it's called. What am I on? What am I under? Not isolation. What do they call that? COVID sequestration. I can't get to the word. COVID lockdown, whatever it is. They're trying to get me to go outside. They're like, yeah, just go outside. I've been trying to do it all morning. No, he spent decades torturing my body, man. They really did. They're sick. I was a good guy for everybody. 100%. Let me turn this on here. Oh, so the what happened on? I think I brought it up. I'll bring it up again. What happened on X was I didn't know you could go into your account and get a backup number to unlock your account from one of your already logged in accounts if you got locked out. So that's what happened. I didn't know that existed. Eventually, it got through to my mind, and I fixed that. Well, it's just people are out here and they got nothing like me. They burned everything I had, which they owe me. I would have been in a house in the a couple times, and just would have been the rest of my life in that house, right? And probably met a woman, and that would have been it. Right. I mean, they owe me. You need to pay me something. If I can get out of the mess that you put me back into again, all of you, because they keep again being psychologically. There is no medication required. It's them. You need to stop the people. I say, go ahead and keep doing it, all of you. There's another plague. That's it. God said that's another plague. When you don't want to acknowledge the reality of what you're all doing and what you've done to my life and the life of the other people, to murder them, to sexualize them, to harm them, to destroy them, you will be plagued until plagues are all you see. Yeah, sealed forevermore. Whoa. Having fun now, all of you? Having fun projecting the idea that I just need medication? Having fun trying to make it look that's all like I need medication? Having fun like you've had for 30 years? Having fun? Pacific Palisades is nothing. Nothing compared to the next one. So saith the Lord our God. These effing bitches, these effing bastards that have a nerve to say that I need to be medicated are so narcissistically bipolar, psychopathic, murderistic. It's insane to even think that their victim needs to be medicated. I'm for sorry, Larry. Agree, Larry. They torture somebody and torture them and torture them and torture them and torture them. and laugh while they all get high and drunk. Use drugs on the government dole, federal, state, and local. Now, because before the Palisades fire, I released everybody and released everything, erased every curse that ever was uttered. So that's not where that came from. Thank you, Larry. I can read their projections, and they know it. Oh, they're torturing people. That's what this is all coming from. They torture somebody until they become a mass shooter. Most of them don't even know they're being tortured. These people sit in the background, stalking people through their own security systems. We got government people and private sector people laughing as they look into your security cameras at you naked. The shame of the heathen is who they are. They're watching your wife get changed in your bedroom through your security camera. That's how sick the Fusion Center is. That's how sick CIA is. That's how sick NSA is. Not here to let Trump walk in and think that every state cop and local cop's his buddy. It's a scam they want to play on him, like they did last time. They may have known where those files were at Mar-a-Lago. They may have watched everybody at Mar-a-Lago for years from NSA, setting that whole thing in motion. They torture people and watch on their security cameras. You have to actually turn your security cameras off when you're in your house, or they'll stalk you. They got the CIA toolkit. Oh, no, somebody else has that. They all got a form of the CIA toolkit. They say somebody leaked it. Why? Because they're hacking everybody. Oh, it's not us. Somebody leaked it. That's what it was. Your average federal agent has access to a CIA toolkit. Your average state agent that's part of the Fusion Center, that kind of world, has access to a CIA type toolkit. Hack whatever they want, do whoever they want for their $1 million job one day. So your grandmother trying to buy some Paxlovid, they're gonna stop her credit card from going through. Why? Because they're exactly who the Bible said they would be. Because your grandma's just a burden to society. She don't need to live another year. They thought it was just going to be another ha-ha festival. Moore's got COVID. Let's harass him. Ha 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 ha. Hey, Fusion Center, what you got going on there? You hear anything yet from the people and the cameras that we got set up down there? You hear anything? See, say something. Say something, Fusion Center. See, you all don't know the origination and the sources of all of it. One of the systems that sold out is that system, because I was already in it when I got there. I mean, I just happened along to all those places in California. I didn't know there was an inside. I didn't know I was in California. So they came along with all those federal dollars, and everybody sold out. So one of the systems that sold out was that one that goes north from Santa Monica. I had actually, at the end, had entered into that system. And I said, just, I mean, I'm not like hyper focused on it, but the idea was just bide your time, and you'll get your place up here. I was already going around healing California. But it's sold out, and now you have to be a dirty rat to get someplace up there. That may have been the moment it sold out too. Again, the Lord said to me that a lot of places sell out when you come along because they bring the money and they bring the bosses and they sell out and then they take the mark of the beast. They're doing what I say they're doing. And they're ruining people because they want to. Because they enjoy it. They'd join law enforcement to help people. Like I said, you owe me, pay me. Free. You know, that my mess. I mean, not completely, but a good portion of my mess would be over if they paid me something to get forward of what they did to my life. They did it again to me. Right. I mean, I'd been married with a woman, just living a normal life with a woman the whole time, and that's it. I mean, I've been in a religious society somewhere. Meanwhile, all the people that shouldn't be there are there. That's why you got all that mess you got. I'm one of the real leaders of the church. Been one probably, since very early on. Correct. I mean, it's just weird if you watch what happens when I go into a church. I mean, the one in Indianapolis never manifested, but it was getting there, and then they killed it. Sure. Well, because it's like I'm a deacon, like an instant deacon. When I show up in a church, it's like I'm an instant. Even other religions, every religion I show up in, I'm like I'm an instant deacon. That's real. There is no why you did it. There is no reason, rhyme or reason to it. There's no reality to any of it. You're dirty, stinking devils that have manifested in spycraft in whatever endeavor in life you're in. Witchcraft and spycraft has been your way. Torture, torment, and death it has been your day, all of you. Well, like I said, I can say anything. If the Lord doesn't apply it, then it doesn't happen, right? Right. So again, it doesn't matter what I say, but if the Lord chooses to, He can destroy you continually, all of you. It isn't God doing this to me. You have physical people moving this against my life. It's obvious. That's see, they want to be God, so they're on the computer. Like I figured that out early on. I mean, it's been almost 20 years. I figured it out. They're on a computer. And they want you to think God's doing something to you, and it's them. 100%. So they're out there. We got people out there that think God is moving in their life, and it's just like some spy playing a game with them. I mean, religious societies sold out. And again, if you go back to when I was with the Yogi Bhajan Sikhs, you'll find out that they were the holier than thous. And then come to find out, so many years later, they're the sex cult. Like I said, what's going on. Is that, no, trying to figure out who that was. Pull him up on my camera. They essentially, they say the person gets nothing in life, and they just keep destroying their life. And people, you get rewarded for it. That's no, 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 no. Yeah, they almost try to drop my recording device there. No, it isn't some official. It hides as official thing. Right. They just murders, rapists, murderers, protecting all the crimes they committed and all their buddies committed by being this. Like you don't see it in life until they launch it on you. Like if I was never in government, I probably never would have saw it. Right. Worst thing I ever did was go in government. A bunch of liars. I work with a bunch of liars who want to condemn somebody. They get paid. So, like I told you, when I went into the government, there was a guy that they had just killed. Again, Spycraft killed in life. They all got big money for it. So when you come in, they're already trying to set you up for it. Why? Because they want that big up again. So at a certain point, the spycraft operators show up and they kill people, and they get their big up. But they're twisted people. They're narcissists. There's narcissists all over government. It's not just some liberal thing that people say. Oh, they owe me money. I mean, I'm the guy that came up with truth. There's no doubt. I'm owed money. Right. I'm owed money for something. I mean, just you get money to me and I move on. I'll probably go to near some. I'm trying to. Look, this is the problem, and that's why I'm yelling at you. All right. I'm connected to religious societies in the mind, and we're trying to strategize what I should do. And you're blocking that with your bimbo, and somebody should just go wring her neck and get rid of it. She's worse than a pigeon. Just get her off the earth, face of the earth. Right. Well, because she has the capability to be a devil and block religious communication. So we're strategizing like where would be the place for me to go. Would it benefit me to go to Missouri and be around a community? I think I'm a kind of my age messes that up because maybe 10 years ago I could have, and I tried other societies, same thing. I mean, well, you work for them for a while and you're part of their society. You got friends and right. Again, I'm not a loner, but there's no way for me to do anything else. They're not going to allow anything. It's that simple. Why? Because they're satanic. Okay, that's the only real reason. They may have an earthly description of what happened and what they're doing, but it's all bullshit. They're evil, psychotic people, and they should have been done away with a long time ago. They should have been in prison for life and never have access to anybody on the earth. As far as through the computer and that kind of thing. Right. The sun just came out. So again, you all can get that money my direction, and you need to do it. They already said there's something coming for Elon. I don't know what it is. I can't report on it because I already told you just to be careful. Right. I don't know what it is. They said Elon will not outlive what's going to happen. And I don't mean, and it doesn't mean life lived, but he will not succeed past what's going to happen. And I don't know what that is. Hmm. So again, y'all got more money than God, and that's a fact. Find some of that money and pay me something so I can get out of here and get someplace comfortable. It doesn't mean I'm going to leave the state or anything like that, but I need to get out of this apartment. I need to close it down. And I need to get someplace away from the people that you've all put into place here. And a ton of people here that work for them. The setup. Call it the CIA funhouse. Thank you. Yep. Told you what you need to do. But again, I don't do well when you start with that, little stories of success after the tragedy, because you're not saying God has sent us a message. There needs to be change. Because you don't want to address the reality of what I'm saying. You don't want to address the falseness of your $1 trillion budget fake law enforcement. So again, I would make sure that you find some of your excess funds, which you have plenty of. You put some of it together and find a way to move it into my life. I guarantee it'll have payback. I'm not begging you, I'm telling you. You know you owe me, all of you. All political parties do. Again, that could be part of it also. Obviously, I've helped with California. I mean, you have to stop these people from destroying my life and my health. You have to. You're doing it, all of you. Don't tell me there's no. So their big excuse is there's no reason for them to do it. Yeah, there's reason for you to do it. You're a devil, all of you. You think it's funny, all of you. You're all psychotic. Been psychotic all your lives. I mean, it's obvious. I'm not imagining things. You're using AI and other things to target my life and the life of other people that you're killing, and you all think it's funny and started out a big experiment from government, and it turned out to be the reality of the future government. Isn't it great when a plan comes together, all of you? What, you think I was fooled all along? Again, you're using spycraft. There's no way out of it until you can break out of it. When a larger panic came along, I was able to break out of it. Amazing grace. How sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me. And then my fears relieved. Thought me out of fear, broke out, then my fears relieved.